Hey, what's up? It's DeHuff. It's another episode of DeHuff Uncensored. I hope you're having a great day. Got a lot to get to today, but real quick, if you haven't done it, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. And don't forget, today's episode is presented to you by the great people over at Sugar Fire in Westminster, as well as Superbook Sports Colorado. I'll tell you more about Superbook here in a second, but real quick, give you a quick preview of today's show. A Canadian woman received an odd package from Amazon that she claims she didn't order. Or did she? Ding, ding, ding. Anyway, more stories about snakes that freak me out. And let's be honest, I'm a wuss. I'm a wuss. The U.S. military lost something very expensive, like $150 million expensive, and they want you to help them find it. A woman has spent about $7,000 on dolls because she feels like it's prepping her for a real baby. And the Denver Broncos pooped themselves on national television. We're going to get into that here in a second, but why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, this fall, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports. Superbook Sports is the book next door, just a dedicated team of best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And right now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code MILEHIGH. So bet with the best. Use promo code MILEHIGh this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Let's go! Let's go!
And now, here are the headlines.
Well, a Canadian woman was sent 1,000 condoms via Amazon. But here's what's crazy. She claims she didn't order them, but they still charged her $700 because it came from her account. She never ordered it. How freaking bizarre. Could you imagine that? You get excited. Who doesn't get excited when you get a package in the mail? You're like, ooh, I don't remember ordering something from, what does it say? Trojan? Yeah, I don't know. What is that? I don't know. Open it up and there's just a bunch of packages of condoms. Apparently, her account was hacked. Amazon finally, after just fighting tooth and nail, Amazon finally refunded her money. And at the end, they're like, since it's like a health product, a personal item, we can't take it back. Because at first they weren't going to refund her at all. But then eventually, after doing some digging, they're like, yeah, apparently you didn't order this. And they're like, you know what? Keep the box. Keep all those condoms. She's married. And she's like, no, no. And to make this sad and kind of just more giving you an idea of what this poor lady was going through, she gets this in the mail and she's fighting to get that $700 back. Meanwhile, her husband is sick in the hospital and she's dealing with that. So she definitely needed that money. So thankfully, Amazon did that. But the scary part is the fact that somebody hacked into her account and they did this. Unless, playing devil's advocate, unless she was like half asleep one night and she's just scrolling through Amazon. Next thing you know, boom, she gets an order of 1,000 condoms. That'd be horrible. Could you imagine if you accidentally did that? You accidentally spent $700 on condoms. Now, here's the thing. She got her money back. And they're like, we can't take those condoms back. Those are yours to do with whatever you want, right? Here's what she needs to do. She needs to do a lemonade stand. Hold on. But instead of just lemonade and maybe cookies, she sells lemonade and condoms, okay? She sells them in front of a college. She would make so much money. So much money. The lemonade lover. That's her name. Hello, everybody who wants lemonade in a condom. A little Jimmy hat with your lemonade, sir? Sure, there you go. Listen, she's hydrating people and keeping them healthy. There you go. What a great way to turn things around. Good for her. But scary. Makes you want to right now go change your password to make sure nobody can get into your account. And if you have like the two-way verification things on your accounts, if you don't have those, you need to set them up because a lot of us don't on certain accounts. But the fact that her bank account is attached to this, that's scary. It is scary. So hopefully that never happens to you. So you don't one day get a weird package in the mail. And then you're like, you open it up and you're like, oh, double-sided dildos. Fantastic. I don't remember ordering these. Oh well. That'd be weird. I'd be I'd be like, "Whoa, let's get Amazon on the phone right now. I didn't order these. I said triple-sided. Come on. Two's fun, but three's a party." You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Somebody's listening like, "That's disgusting. Ew, gross." Speaking of gross, this stuff grosses me out, and I know it shouldn't, but that's just the way I am. I can't pronounce this guy's name. It's like Higor Frugriz said his python. Yeah, I'm sure I nailed that name. Sure I did. High five to me. His python Shiva, which is an awesome name for a snake because every time somebody sees it, you know they get a little piss Shiva going on there. So Shiva and him were out enjoying the water in Australia. But here's the thing. He didn't have a permit to take this python of his outside. He had a permit to keep it at his house, right? Because Australia is super strict when it comes to that type of stuff with animals and whatnot. So this guy, and the reason why they found out about this, Australia, you know, higher ups, authorities, said he went viral after he was filmed surfing with his pet python, and he got fined more than 2,000 Australian dollars for taking it out into public. Like I said, he was able to have it at his home, but they're like, soon as you step outside, no, that's a big no. Can't do it. So this is what I don't know. My brain is like fried today. Jeez. Somebody of importance in Australia said the python would have found the water to be extremely cold, and only snakes that are the only snakes that should be in the ocean are sea snakes. Because the water in Australia, especially around when we were near Sydney, when we got a visit like a long freaking time ago, it's fucking cold. Like I remember the one time I stepped into the water, I walked in for about say 2 seconds and I'm like, "Oh, fuck that. It's cold. Holy shit." And there's all these other people in the water and they're like, "Oh, fucking American. What a pussy." That's not even a good accent, but you're welcome for trying, okay? I tried. So, yeah, you put a snake in there like a python that's not meant to be that cold of a situation. It's not good for the snake. But there are sea snakes that are more adapted to that. So it's gross. That let's be honest. I don't want to see that shit when I'm at a beach. I don't want to see a snake when I'm at the beach. Just don't need it. Don't want to see it. It's horrible. Horrific. Be lubing myself up with some sunscreen, look over to my side, and apparently that guy, Igor, and Shiva are right next to me. And Shiva is like giving me the look with its tongue. Like, no, get out of the way. Be gone, devil. I don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. Now, in a related story to this, if you go up to New York, and I want to see it's the Upper West Side, there was a guy riding the subway with his pet python, and people freaked out to the point where there were so many calls to the police that it became a story. But the police said this: They're like, Listen, it could be his emotional support animal. We don't know. And as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, there's nothing we can do about it. You could have a rat as an emotional support animal. There's nothing we can do about it. So if I see anybody out there walking around with a snake around their neck or their arm or whatever, I'm going to run away from you because I don't I don't like it. I I am not man enough to stand face to face with somebody holding a snake. It just freaks me out. I should. I should be able to look at a snake and not get scared, but I do. I do. Unless my kids are around, then I'm like silently scared and borderline fighting back the urine that's going to release in my pants. Okay, because I'm trying to look strong for my children, and deep inside, I'm like, oh my god, it looked at me. Oh my god, a snake. Oh, gross. Oh, I'm a pussy. I'm sorry. I am. The U.S. military needs your help finding a $150 million F-35 that it lost in South Carolina. There was some sort of issue. The pilot ejected. They found him. He's safe, but they can't find his plane. It was last seen over North Charleston. How do you lose a plane? I was asking about that on Facebook, and everybody's just like, I don't know. That's pretty freaking wild. How do you lose a plane? This day and age with technology, it has it's worth $150 million. How do you not have an Apple AirTag on that shit? Something like that, right? Makes no sense. No sense. I could put one of those in my kid's backpack, throw the backpack, out a plane, and I could find it within a day, right? Oh, it's right here. How do you not have something like that on a $150 million airplane? Bizarre to me.
But we begin tonight with breaking news. Military officials say they're responding to a, quote, mishap involving an F-35 fighter jet. Officials say the pilot of an F-35 Lightning II ejected from the jet and landed safely, but the search is on now for the missing F-35. They don't know where it is and are asking the public for help. Publicly available flight data shows SLED flying over Lake Moultrie near Charleston. If you know anything, call Joint Base Charleston at 843-963-3600.
Like, this is legit. They lost it. They can't find it. They need your help. So if you're in the South Carolina area, you need to go hunting for some F-35. Because what do you think the reward should be if you found it? Like, if you're out in the woods or wherever and you find it and you'd be like, okay, military, I found it. Now what? Now what do I get? What's my reward? I mean, obviously you'd want some money, right? I mean, you just save them $150 million because even if it's destroyed, they can probably use some of that for, scrap or whatever. I would like to have no taxes for life. That would be good. A free lifetime pass to all Disney parks because I don't want to pay for that shit. Disney's expensive. Everybody I talk to that's ever gone to a Disney theme park, they're like, yeah, we went. It's expensive. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I don't want that. Oh, if it's lifetime passes to all Disney parks, it's got to be like that express pass too, where I get to go to the front of the line for everything. And even if that's not a thing anymore, I want it to be a thing just for me and my family. I want a round trip tour of Area 51. Notice I said round trip. I want to be able to go and then come back safely. Okay. I don't want a one-way trip to Area 51 for a tour, and then I'm like, okay, I got to get home for dinner, and then they're like, you're not leaving. Be like, oh no, I made a mistake. Don't want that. Then finally, I'd like to meet with Dwayne Johnson so I could ask him if he was ever going to actually try to actually act. So we'll see. We'll see. Fingers crossed. If I find it, I'm not going out to South Carolina anytime soon. I don't plan on it. I know I actually have a lot of listeners out in South Carolina. So if you guys find it, let me know. And that'd be cool. That'd be really cool if you found it or know somebody that found it. Because I'd like to know, what did they say? Hey, thanks, pat you on the back. Like, whoa, motherfucker, I found you this plane. that you can't locate because you didn't put like a little tracking device on it. Come on. So ridiculous. Apple AirTag literally has stuff for this. They do. So dumb. We got more coming your way, but you like it when somebody buys you a beer. You do? Don't you lie. Because tonight, if you head out to Sugar Fire in Westminster, my go-to barbecue place, they're off 144th and Orchard Parkway, so just east of Huron, just west of I-25. Starting at 6 o'clock tonight till 8 o'clock, we're going to be watching the football game. We're going to be drinking some cocktails, having a good time. Oh, and maybe grubbing on some barbecue. You got to come out there. But now, here's the thing with Sugar Fire in Westminster. They got baby back ribs, beef brisket, pulled pork, turkey, burgers, all prepared to perfection every single day. And they got daily specials. So if you follow them on social media at Sugar Fire Westy, Chef Clint loves to post his daily specials. And they change up every now and then, like whether it's burnt ends or smoked fried wings. Whatever it is, or their Bronco burger, which is killer. I might try that. I might have that tonight. I might do that. But either way, it's all good. Now, some of their more popular specialty sides are hash brown casserole, Brussels sprouts in sweet chili, cucumber salad, and smashed loaded potatoes. Sugar Fire in Westminster, by far my favorite barbecue place in the state of Colorado. It's family friendly, perfect for date night, or even catering for those special family events, whether it's weddings, holiday parties, birthday parties, or maybe you have a big meeting coming up at work and you really want to take it up a few notches. That's where you call Sugar Fire in Westminster. Again, they're off of 144th and Orchard Parkway, just east of Huron. You can follow them on social media at Sugar Fire Westy. Sugar Fire in Westminster, reinventing barbecue every single day. So I saw this story, and this is the headline. It's preparing me for parenthood. So stupid. Jess Ellis, is 27 years old. Her fiance, Avery, is 33. And their mom and dad to 13 fake babies. They change diapers of the dolls because they have all these dolls. And they're like real life looking dolls. I will say that. They look pretty legit. And she takes them out in strollers. She spent over $7,000 on her collection of babies. She says right around $7,500 on her collection of babies. She's now deciding, because it's become so popular, and she's become popular on social media, because on TikTok, you could talk about just about anything and become popular because it's TikTok. TikTok is so fucking bizarre. Anyway, she's decided she's going to monetize her passion by creating and selling reborn dolls, is what they call them, reborn dolls, to give back to the online reborn community, because there's a lot of people that do this. So she got kind of depressed, I guess, and lonely during the pandemic. And she's just like, well, I guess I could get some baby dolls and they'll fill the gap. Whatever. It's bizarre. Here's a quick snippet from her talking to, I believe it was the New York Post.
Everything I do with my dolls, I usually film because I really enjoy creating content. So a lot of the time I will change their clothes. So I do change them, not hugely often. Some of these haven't been changed in about 6 months. It tends to be my newer ones that get changed more often.
Okay, she's saying, so when you take that whole story into context and you add that snippet in there, you're like, this is not preparing you for a real life child. If you haven't changed some of the babies in like 6 months, that's not training you for a real life situation. Because newsflash, kids poop more than once a day, especially when they're little bitty. They're constantly pooping. I don't know if you've ever had kids, you're having kids, or you've babysat. When they're little, this happened to me several times. I'm changing my kid's diaper, cleaning it up, putting on the new one, and then all of a sudden, that one's ruined. That happens. A baby doll's not gonna do that shit. And they're also while she's recording this, that was an originally like a say a 2-minute piece that they posted on their site. She's surrounded by her baby dolls, but they're all turned off. You can't turn off a real kid because guess what's going to happen if a real kid is in the scene? It could be just one, and that thing is just going to make its presence known in some fashion, whether it starts crying, it starts, picking its nose, something is going to happen. There is no stress involved when you have a fake baby versus a real baby. A real baby, you're trying to make sure it doesn't die. A fake baby, you're just like, do I need to change the batteries, or is it just just quiet? I don't understand. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, you're constantly fearful of a real baby, of it hurting itself, and making sure you're on top of things, making sure they're getting fed. Are they getting enough sleep? Um, am I getting enough sleep? Have I been eating all this stuff? There's a lot of stress involved. So what? Listen, I'm not like bagging on her and saying that she's an idiot. She's just it's one of those things where, yeah, this is all fine and dandy. But when you have a real kid, you're going to realize the difference. Be like, yeah, okay, I had a doll collection, and having one kid just totally blows that out of the water. Okay. It's like these people that find out that, like, oh, Scott, you rode a bull when you were like 18. I'm like, yeah, it was like crazy. Boom. Maybe 2 seconds at the most that sat on the bull. And then the people will be like, oh, I rode a bull when I went to the Grizzly Rose. And I lasted, what is it, 8 seconds? Yeah, I did that. I was probably more than that. So, like, yeah, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You ever seen a mechanical bull? It's somebody with a joystick, and they're in the back, doing it. Where a bull, you don't know what the heck's going on, and you go 0 to 200 miles an hour in a fraction of a second. Not the same thing. Same thing with babies. Babies will poop, vomit, scream their head off, and you don't know why any of it's happening. You don't. You're just, and then meanwhile, you're sleep deprived because baby, for some reason, doesn't want to sleep at all. Or maybe they do. Every kid's different. You just don't know. So good for her in a sense. And the fact that she's actually turning around and making a profit of this, and she's actually realizing that there's a demographic for this. So she's making her own dolls and selling them for right around $250 each. I mean, good for her. If that's a source of income, great. But a reality check is going to happen if she ever does get pregnant and have a baby, because it's completely different than that. It's so different. So different. Oh my God. It's always funny to me too, real quick. I remember when, we adopted our kids, but you go through all these, like for adoption, you have to go through a lot of classes and preparation. To be honest, you go through a crap ton more prep to adopt a child than you do for if you're having one naturally, right? That's just the way it is. And if everybody took these classes, I think it would benefit everybody, because it was a big reality check of, they're saying you're not going to be sleeping very well. And I kind of knew that. I had heard people say that, and they teach you how to, change a diaper and all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. You go through all these classes. But despite being prepared like that, to when you actually have the kid, and next thing you know, like, I've been sleep deprived in my life, but never as bad when I had a kid. And we had 2 of them. So not at the same time, thankfully, because that would have been just a complete nightmare. I don't know how anybody with twins or more can handle that. That's crazy. But the fact that we were so sleep deprived for, I don't even know how many weeks, month, or whatever, but you're just not really fully prepared for it. Even though so many people are like, be ready to not get any sleep. And I'm like, I'm already used to that. I work mornings in radio, blah, blah, blah. Then you get that and you're like, holy shit, this is a lot different. This is a lot different. trying to feed a baby and try not to fall asleep at the same time. Oh, oh. Like how long was I asleep? Meanwhile the the nipple of the bottle's up the kid's nose. Hey, it happens. It happened. Good for her, but also, hey, be ready. Be ready, lady. It's gonna change. It's gonna be a lot different than that. Um, the Denver Broncos, we're gonna go into the sports section right now. The Denver Broncos fell apart and ended up losing to the Washington Commanders yesterday. Um, they were up like 21-3, and then they just ended up losing like I want to say it was 35-33. And you shouldn't allow that to happen. You shouldn't get to that point. You had a commanding lead and you should have continued to build on that. When in sports, if your opponent is down, you make sure they stay down. It's pretty simple. Now, that being said, it's me saying this from the couch of my living room. I'm not out there. I'm not playing. I never have even close to that level. But here we are. I can say it because we're all thinking. Denver Broncos, pull your head out of your ass and play better. That being said, I have been tuning into some local radio stations this morning, and some have suggested that the Denver Broncos should just tank the rest of the season in hopes of getting a great player in the draft. All I can say to that is screw that. It's 2 freaking games. They've lost to the Raiders and the Commanders, okay? To say, hey, maybe we should, to even entertain the idea of maybe we should just tank the rest of the season. That's a loser's mentality. Oh, there's a bump in the road. Well, let's just quit and see what happens next year. Shut the fuck up. That is bad. That should never cross your lips, especially 2 games in. Okay? It's not like they got the hell beat out of them. They came close. They fucked up for like, I don't know, basically 2 quarters and then pulled their head out of their butt at the last second. But you can't do that because whoever you're going up against, they don't care if you're struggling. They're going to fight back because they want to win just as bad as you do, if not more. So Denver Broncos, listen up. You're down 2 games. You have not won a game so far this season. Tighten your shit up. Offensive line, protect Russell Wilson. 7 sacks is what it's marked up as. That shouldn't happen. That's a freaking joke, offensive line. Do better. Russell Wilson, don't make silly plays. I get it. You're running around there because your O-line's falling apart at times. Don't let that be an excuse for you to make a mistake. Have a more level head. Don't make silly mistakes. Defense, defend. How about that? Go hard the entire game. In fact, the entire team, make sure you're out there making some big plays. And let's go back at the defense. Don't just defend a play, especially in the secondary. Go for the pick. I'm watching the game. I'm like, every time the Broncos have had a good team and they've had a Super Bowl contending team, it's like they have ball hawks back there. I don't see any of that. Remember Aqib Talib? Man, if the ball was thrown towards him, he was analyzing the routes and the throw and everything like that, and he was making a jump on the ball, and you just never knew when he was going to pick it, and if he picked it, there was a good chance he was going to make a touchdown with it. I don't see any of that happening on the Denver defense. They're just defending and waiting for the ball to get into the receiver's hands, and then they make the tackle. Make a play on the fucking ball, Denver. Listen. Again, I'm sitting back here in my couch and pointing my finger and saying how easy it should be. The good thing is they're not getting blown out. The games are close. So that means, in theory, you tighten some shit up, and next thing you know, you're winning a game. Now they're on to Miami, to take on the Dolphins. We'll see how that goes. But the Dolphins are playing well, too. So, not going to be easy. Not going to be an easy game. So, Denver, you're fucking embarrassing me right now, okay? don't I don't know how to say it. I'm really disappointed in you. Do I need to talk to you like you're a little kid? Listen, Denver Broncos, I'm glad you could come here for this meeting. Um, you're 0-2. You lost to the Raiders. They're your division rival. You also lost to the Washington Commanders, to a guy that, their quarterback sounds like he's a sea captain, Sam Howell. I don't know. Anyway, here's the thing. You're a great disappointment to the Denver community right now, if not the whole Colorado state. So pull your head out of your butts, play hard, and go win some football games. Pretty simple, right? All right, get the fuck out of my office. It's easy, right? Oh, man. Hey, by the way, real quick, who doesn't love playing cornhole? I love playing cornhole. I'm not the best at it. Some of my buddies, they're really freaking good at it. So here's the scenario. Your friends and family come over, boom, whip out your cornhole and get the good times rolling. Go to corntrickscornhole.com. That's corn tricks, and that's spelled with an X. Cornhole.com right now. Check out their amazing Colorado themed cornhole bags. There's so many cool bags to choose from. You can even personalize them, which would be cool. That'd be awesome. I could get some like the Huff Uncensored cornhole bags. Oh my God, could you imagine? I show up to a party and I have a bag, and inside the bag are my own cornhole bags. That would be sweet. Plus, they also have legit shirts, hoodies, hats, even Colorado cornhole boards. And the boards and bags, by the way, this is like pro level stuff. This isn't the cheap stuff that you get at the big sporting goods store. This is legit. Go to corntrickscornhole.com right now. Use the promo code DeHuff, and you can get 15% off your order. You're welcome. And if you love to play cornhole and you're good at it, prove it. Prove it. The 2023 Colorado Cornhole State Championships are going down October 6th, 7th, and 8th. If you want to sign up or at least get some more information about this, go to corntrickscornhole.com. That's corntricks, tricks spelled with an X, cornhole.com. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If I guess, by the way, kind of a slight update on that F-35. Allegedly, it's on autopilot. And it's just allegedly still flying around. So if you see one, if you see something, say something. Oh, look, the F-35 is coming in close. Holy shit. Again, if that's officially true, I assume it is, based on the fact that I got ABC News saying that it is. How do you not have an air tag on that thing? Jesus. So simple. I'm not an Apple guy, but I think they could have helped out in this situation. Thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. I really appreciate it. Hopefully, I'll see you tonight at Sugar Fire in Westminster, again, off 144th and Orchard Parkway. It's going to be a lot of fun watching the game, drinking some cocktails, and then maybe some grubbing on some barbecue. Big thanks to Superbook Sports Colorado as well. It's DeHuff Uncensored. Let's keep moving forward. I'll talk to you next time.